Hello chat, welcome back. We are here again. And today we have some fun stuff planned. But first, obviously, as always, I have to show off what I did off stream. Which was kind of a lot, I think. It's actually hard to keep track of what I did on stream and what I did off stream. But you'll see. We're gonna see if the game ever loads, for starters. We'll see. 25, 26, 27. We did it. Okay. We have a play screen. This is the first thing that's new. I made a very simple map generation system. I kind of just like threw it together. It's bad. Yeah, it kind of sucks. And there's only two types of locations right now. There's a battle, which is like the skull icon, and then there's a shop, which is like the $sign icon. And it pretty much just like randomly picks. There's like a set number of steps you will have to take through the map, and then it picks a random number between 1 and 3 of how many tiles are going to be in each step, and then it just kind of randomly connects them together. So that's how we get this funny map generated. But it definitely has issues, because sometimes you can get a shop before you've gotten a battle, and that's not good because you can't buy anything. That's something we're going to try to fix today, but ultimately I'm going to change everything about the shop. So, or not the shop, the map generation. I'm just going to remake it from scratch with a little more thought put into it. And obviously I'm going to make more location types too. So I'm kind of waiting on that. But obviously we can type the word to go to a battle. I also added the health display both for the player and for the enemies. Neither of those were there before. And then also the money display is new. So we go to the shop here. This is new. So basically what happens is, as you type a letter in a battle, you will unlock the standard keycap for that letter. And the shop can only give you keycaps of letters that you have already discovered. And so that means that like we can't get the number keys when there's no words that contain numbers. And yeah, that same for like symbols and whatnot. And so I thought that was like a nice way to do it. And it also means your first shop, you're more likely to get a letter that's like more common, which I think might be a better system. Because then it feels like you're doing something. But two things. First of all, you can't see your health when you're in the shop. So that's something we're going to fix. Because right now, your health just gets reset every time you go into a battle. But this is a roguelike, and I want health to be persistent the whole time. So right now the health is attached to the player, but instead I'm going to want it attached to this run info game object, and it's going to persist between battles. And then other thing is that you can currently buy keycaps and place them in slots that you have not yet discovered. So like I could put this in the slot for the 1 key. That is another thing that we need to fix this stream. So the stream is going to be a lot of fixing things, and then we might add a new thing here or there, and then if we get through like all of the stuff I want to fix, then I want to just start reworking how keycaps work in general, because I have some ideas about that. I go here, typing roguelike sounds fire, heck yeah. Yeah. I think it sounds like a fun idea. it's going to be difficult to like work out the details basically. Um, and then like if we think like way into the future, like uh, localization of a game like this is very difficult because everyone's keyboard layout is different. And then like some countries would have more keys and like that affects the balance of the game, and yeah, it could get weird. But we're not going to worry about any of that right now. I think at like worst case, it can be fun for people who like are already in the typing community and like, you know, type English and use a QWERTY keyboard. But yeah, right now we do have like a gameplay loop. Everything goes around. Eventually, this enemy will kill us, and then we can restart. But there's no like the difficulty doesn't scale yet. That's something that needs to be done. Like the battles are just always the same. So that's going to be really important to rework, and that's probably going to be like one of the first things on the list once I add a couple more things that like make the game more playable. So I have my Trello board here, and I have this card here, which let me make it a little bit bigger. Is the to-do list for this stream basically. First thing I want to do is damage indicators, so that you can actually see how much damage you do, and then fix the map generation a little bit. Like I said, you can go immediately into a shop, and that sucks. But we're not going to do too much about the map generation because I'm planning on completely redoing it later. And then, yes, like I said, changing the health so that it's persistent throughout the run. Fixing that other issue with the keycaps. And there's also that bug, which I didn't happen to get, but if an enemy crashes into each other, they like get physics applied and start, I don't know, doing funny things. And then finally, we have rework keycaps, which I'll talk about later if we get to it. But basically, the way keycaps work right now is kind of silly. And like, you have like, let's see. Keyboard weapon. Where do I define keyboard weapon? We basically have this like execute keycaps, and it goes through every letter in the word, and then we just have like a list of if statements, like, oh, if it's this keycap type, do this. If it's this one, do this. If it's this one, do this. And I think that's like a very bad way to do this. So basically, I want to make that better. And I also have like some big like fundamental decisions about how I want keycaps to work. I think I want them to be like unique. So like you can't have two keycaps of the same type, which changes things, and is not how it currently works. But yeah, I think that I want that to be kind of the idea. I was developing a prototype for a typing roguelike as well a while back. It's fun to see someone actually making it. Yeah, hopefully it comes out nicely. There's a game called Glyphica, if you haven't heard of it, which is a typing roguelike. If you, I might as well mention them. I don't know anything about the game, really, other than, like, I looked at it and I was like, this doesn't look like what I want to do, and then I purposefully have avoided playing it because I don't want to, like, take tons of inspiration. But yeah, that game also exists if you hadn't heard of it. But what was first on our to-do list? Damage indicators. Okay. Okay. We're gonna need think let's just create a prefab for damage indicator. I'm just creating it here in the main menu because why not? But obviously it won't stay here. We're gonna need text. Let's see, 3D object. Text. Damage text. And then let's actually I almost want to, yeah. I want to do it here so that I can compare its scale to the enemies. To make sure it's like a reasonable size. Let's just make the scale something like that. We're gonna change it to monogram font. By the way, monogram is a font created by someone called Data Goblin, I think, and it's completely open source. It's just like a simple monospace pixel font, and that's what I'm using, and I really like it. I've used it before, like before this project, so they deserve acknowledgement, for sure. Okay, so this would be like, oh, 32 damage. And then I actually kind of want to have like some animations attached to this, I think. So let's at this point move this into a prefab. I want to have, let's see. And create, right? Like create animation, animator controller. Okay. Maybe make a folder for animations. I haven't done animations in a while. I did them in like a class that I took last semester, I think. No, I can't remember if I did them this previous semester or the semester before, but or both. But what we need, like animation clip. Okay. Let's see. I'm assuming we need this animation. Or do we need an animator? Okay. Okay. Let's delete these. I hit the wrong button. Delete. Let's go to our damage indicator. Animation. This is the way to do it. You just go in and you do this. Damage indicator dot anim. Okay. So one thing we'll change is the text color. And then the transform, the position, and the transform, the scale. Okay. So this is frames, right? So probably like half a second. Set the position. Okay, let's see. At 0, 0, 0. We want this guy to be at 0, 0, 0. And then here, put it at 0, 0, 0 for now. I think we need to hit this. Like I said, it's been a long time. Okay. So then here, I'll actually have the position be higher. So it's going to be like it's floating up. Maybe I'll actually make it longer. And then the scale is going to go down. Put this at 0, 0. Width 20, height 20, sure. Why not? And then make sure it's centered. Okay. Okay, things are messy because I'm changing things in the animation when I want them to always be the case. But there we go. And then, okay, scale. I believe now if I change the scale, it will be, yeah, okay. So it kind of, it goes up and it shrinks. And then I want, let's add a key for the color. So at the start, I want the color to be like this red color. And then here, I kind of want it to like this dark red, I think. I also think the scale decreases too much. More than that, though. I'm not an animator. But at this point, now here with the color, I want it to start fading to be transparent, basically. Yeah, that's the idea. Yo, what's up? Yeah, so we have a damage indicator, and it fades away. Maybe I'll move this. And here I want it to be full opacity, and then it just fades away. Yeah, okay, sure. It's not perfect, but it doesn't need to be perfect. It just needs to convey the idea. Okay. Yeah, okay, so damage indicator. And then this has text. So this is where we're actually going to put how much damage it did. For now, I'll say 0. Yo, I just sent you a super chat. I got money deducted from the bank and it ain't showing up in here or in YouTube's Your Purchases. Interesting. How long ago? I don't think I can do anything about that. I think that's a YouTube thing. But worst case, hopefully YouTube has a way to like dispute payments, and then like worst case you could do a chargeback. But hopefully it just like comes through late, because I don't see it at all in anything I can see. But thank you either way. I appreciate it. See, something you have to understand, right, is that someone super chatted me a few streams ago or whatever, $10. So YouTube takes their cut, I get like $7. My most popular video only gets like 50 cents per 1,000 views. So $7 is like the equivalent of 14,000 views on that video, which is like a long time. So it's very much appreciated. It makes a big impact on how much I earn doing this. Okay. So basically now I'm going to go to the enemy. For simple procedural animation that you can change with code, I recommend checking out a tweening library like Prime Tween or Do Tween. It's a life changer. Okay. I will write that down. I'm losing my windows. Sorry. I'm just trying to write that like in my Google Docs so I can be like, oh, check those out. What are you creating right now? Give some context about it. What I'm doing right now is making a damage indicator for when you attack the enemies. So, yeah, right now you can attack the enemy by typing its word, and then it takes damage depending on the letters in the word. But I basically am just making a visual display to be like, this is how much damage you did. Because seeing number get bigger is always good. So I think right now I'm gonna make a public game object damage indicator prefab, and then just throw it into the enemy so that whenever the enemy takes damage, it will show the damage indicator. And I might have to change my enemy code here a little bit, depending on how I implemented it previously. But yeah, here, damage indicator, boom. Okay. So now we can instantiate that as a child of the enemy. And then let's go to our script. And let's see. Do we actually have... Okay. I think so right now, what happens is the keyboard weapon, I believe. No, I think it might be in the player script, actually. I've been just, like, get everything, like, existent and like not trying to worry about exactly how I do everything because I just want to like make progress. But now I'm starting to get to a point where like I need to refactor things because the organization is confusing. Um, and I have been refactoring off stream a little bit, but there's certain things where it's just like, oh, okay. Like the player is what attacks, but the keyboard weapon is where it determines how much damage is actually done. And like, yeah, it's kind of spaghetti. Octa, what's up? So here we literally are manually changing the health from the player. So instead, we're gonna have a public void, take damage, float damage, and health is a float, right? Health minus equals damage. And then we can instantiate our, what did we call it? Damage indicator prefab as a child of this transform. And then let's say damage indicator dot transform dot local position equals 0.1f, perhaps? 0? So it's like a meter above the enemy. That's my ideas. And then capitalize this T. And then I'm actually going to make... I'll leave health as public so we can change it in the inspector, I guess. But here we will use enemy.take damage. And then we will need to say damage indicator dot get component in children. Text mesh pro dot text equals damage. We probably need to make that a string. Okay. This is the idea. I don't think the animation plays automatically. But actually maybe it does by default. I don't remember. Unity is weird. Unity does a lot of silly things. So we're gonna see what happens. Neat. Okay, do we get our damage indicator? We do. It's behind the enemy. The animation repeats. Which, if I remember correctly, I remember there's something you have to change somewhere. That's for sure. Is it something in this? Hold on. Where's my animation? Loop time. We need to uncheck loop time so that the animation doesn't repeat. And then we are also going to change its position to be like, we'll just make it -2f. And that way it's closer to the camera than the enemy. It should always appear on top of the enemy. And then it looked like it was still too low. So we'll see about that. Cell. Choose. Okay, now I just don't see it at all. Oh, wait, I saw it there. But if it destroys the enemy, then the damage indicator gets destroyed. So we probably actually don't want it as a child of the enemy, like I thought. Which makes sense. And probably we should have some sort of cleanup. The money got refunded? Nice. That's good. Okay, here we see a problem with my map generation. Notice how the first 3 locations are all shops, and there's no other option. So we kind of just try again. That's why we're going to change it so that the first step is always a battle. But here I'll just... That's what the shop looks like if you haven't unlocked anything, by the way. Okay, I don't see the damage indicator. Let's pause. Because they probably do exist. Okay, it's there. Yes. Okay, is this... I think this is, okay. A lot of things happening. You're working in a 3D space, is it just facing the wrong way? I don't think so, because I can see it sometimes. I think what the problem is, it is 3D, technically. Yeah. Right now, I am putting it basically at the center of the screen. And I think that might be the problem. And then also I might need to make it closer to the camera so it's on top of other things. So I could have like vector 3 offset equals 0, 2f, negative 2f. And then set it to the transformed opposition of the enemy. Okay, and then damage indicator dot transform dot position plus equals offset. This is... I only work in Godot. Is there a billboard mode where it faces camera only? Not that I know of. But I'm pretty sure everything will just face the camera by default. But that definitely might exist because I've used Godot before and I didn't know Godot had that feature, so... Okay, let's be more careful about our pause here. Okay. So we should... No, we don't have a damage indicator. Where did it go? Oh, I didn't actually do the attack. Okay. Damage indicator is when you attack, not when you select. Okay. Damage indicator. Damage text. Okay, it's just going to the center of the screen. Or... yeah. It's... oh, why is it going to the center of the screen still? Okay, so if we change this x position to like -3, we can see it. If we make it 0, then it's below the enemy. But if we made the... or below the player, but if we made this... yeah, if we made it like... -1, it would be above the player. Which is probably where we want it. And then Okay, but it is not changing its position, though, when we do this. Seemingly. Which is interesting. It's because of the animation, actually. The animation is at position 0. I've just realized that. I think if I apply root motion, then it will not do this. But yeah, what's happening is the animation. Where did I put it? Yeah, the animation sets position, and it will set the position to 0, 0, 0 immediately. So they're just always spawning at 0, 0, 0 because they're not a child of anything. So maybe apply root motion fixes that, and if it doesn't, then I'll have to think of something else, I guess. Because apply root motion is like the okay, yeah, it just goes to the center again. Apply root motion is like if you have a jump, it will always like say you have an animation that moves it up, it will just move it up and then like stay there, and then you could jump again and then just like keep moving up. Instead of moving up and then going back to the start of animation, and it sets it back down to 0. But I didn't actually change this. I think I changed it while I was in play mode, so it didn't save, possibly. I've not been here the whole time, but does it actually get created? Yeah, it's definitely there. Okay, well, it works now. But what was happening, it was let me go back. It was getting created like directly where the player is. And you could like just barely see it float up during the animation, and it was actually behind the player. Yeah. That's dope. It's so dope. I definitely want to, I don't want the offset to be this much, that's for sure. I know that now. We'll see how it looks. Resumed in still. Okay. Going to the battle. Part. I'm gonna wait for it to come closer so you can see it. Okay. Yes, that's what we want. Okay. Now they're like over top the word though, so there certainly exists several better ways to do this, but that's not important right now because we're just prototyping. Yo, what's up, Deco? I haven't heard from you in like forever. Okay, we have damage indicators. They exist. I need to fix the... All I really need to do is go into the battle scene. And these pop-ups. Battle 1 and Battle Lost. And I need to make them like -2 Z, so they're closer to the camera. If we look in 3D, you can see they're closer to the camera. Yeah. That way they're always on top of the player. I know, sorry, I've been MIA. Hope you've been good. I have been good. You've been following along with the VODs. Thank you. Yeah, hopefully it will, like, the... I forgot things break if we try to go straight into the battle. Um, it's it's weird. Like, this type of game is inherently problematic because, like, every language uses different characters. So if you want to localize your game, you have to account for that. And then different countries use different keyboard layouts. So if you want to localize, you have to worry about that. And then in the context of this, like, changing what keys exists changes the balance slightly. And so, like, how do you handle that? Uh, but yeah. Okay. Well, we've accomplished our first mission. We have damage indicators. I watched the previous streams, watching this one live for the first time. Pretty dope. Do you plan on releasing a prototype soon? I don't know about soon, but eventually. I think there's just like so much to do still. It's just like not even close to like like right now there's no difficulty scaling. It's just every battle is exactly the same. So that's a pretty big task. But yeah, I mean, I'm definitely going to release early access versions because I'm going to need a lot of testers, especially in like different skill like levels of typing. So because what I want is I don't want you to have to type super fast. I just want it to slightly reward faster typing, and I want it to heavily reward more accurate typing. And then I want it mostly to be about like the strategy, like which keycaps do you buy to get like the best upgrades, and like, yeah, you'll eventually reach there someday. Thank you. Yeah, uh, it'll be a lot of work, but it's already I'm making decent progress, you know. There's one more thing I want to do though, actually, in the damage indicator before we move on. I want... Okay. I want the damage indicator to destroy itself after a couple seconds, so that there aren't just like piles of them hidden, like, because they fade away, but they don't actually disappear. So that would be good, yeah. And I'll just make a damage indicator script actually. And later on, I think there's more that we could add to the script. I think it, like, the script could just be like, you pass in damage and it does like basically everything else. When you create a new script, it's opening Visual Studio, but it doesn't actually open the script I just created. So I always have to go back into Unity and then open the new script. So that's fun. So we're just gonna have like a coroutine to do this. Yield, wait for, what is it, wait for seconds. How do you do this? Google time, Unity, how to make a coroutine that waits 2 seconds or something. Yield, wait for a second. That's what I did. Well, that's the person, that's the first news code isn't working, so. Yield new, let's say yield new, what's that? Yield return new. That's a lot of keywords. Okay. So we'll wait for 3 full seconds, and then we'll just say destroy game object. And then start coroutine, destroy self. And that way, there's no world where, like, there's 100 hidden damage indicators doing nothing in the scene. Okay. Now, we can move damage indicators to done. And then we can move on to this. This should be really easy. Make it so the second step of map generation is all battles. So, what a world to be in. True. So true. Okay. Our map. We have. How did I do this? Where is it map info? Okay. The code for generating the map, I would say, is like the most scuffed code in this entire project, because I'm just gonna say if step num is 1, which is the second index, we're gonna have map location, new location. If it's 1, so it's the second step, we're gonna say map location, oops, we're gonna say new location equals new map location, and we're just going to give it map location dot location type dot normal battle. Otherwise, we're gonna do this. And this should mean that every location in the second step is always a battle. I don't even want to talk about this code. It's very scuffed. All of the map code is scuffed. I'm planning on redoing all of it eventually. But I needed to make this one small change because it like actually is a nuisance just for testing. And let's just like restart a few times to see if it works. That's my foolproof testing method. Looks promising. Looks promising. Okay, I trust it. Easy peasy. Okay, make health part of run stats. This is slightly less easy, but hopefully still not too hard. You do need something to play, scuffed or not. Sure. Because my upgraded map generation system is probably going to rely on newer like things I haven't made yet. Like I want there right now. There's just normal battle and there's shop, but I want to add in at least one more new location type. And then one feature of the new map generation is that I don't want the same location to ever happen like twice in a row. So I'm gonna need like several locations for that to be possible. More than 2. So unless we just have like a very boring map. I guess it might be possible. Okay. Health. So we're gonna add it to run stats. Player current health. Player max health. Okay. And then so let's see. We're gonna have to change some things. So I'm just gonna remove those there, and then we will conveniently get errors which will tell us where we need to change things. So we'll actually need to access run stats from the player. So we'll say run stats equals game object dot find game object with tag run stats dot get component run stats. It's my favorite line of code. Do you have any ideas for what the different keycaps will do in the future? I have several ideas. Some of them are better than others. There could be a keycap when you type the letter, it gives you money. Can be one that gives you more health. There could be one that upgrades the keycaps that are adjacent to it, which I was thinking about is actually going to be kind of difficult to make, but I still like that idea. Surrounding keycaps have 50% chance to trigger twice. Gain $5 when this keycap is swapped, as in you remove it to put something else there. And it increases by $2 after every battle, so the longer you keep it, the more money you get. It's kind of like the egg in Balatro. Lightning keycap, when you use the letter, it also damages nearby enemies. Null, words containing the letter on that keycap no longer appear. Yeah. Keycap double letters give ×3 damage. Yeah, I have lots of ideas. I've just like thrown them all in here. But yeah. Yeah, this one would make it so you can only see one word at a time, but you do like double damage always. That's an idea. So this actually sounds like if Balatro is a typing game, yeah. Yeah, that's heavy inspiration. For sure. Probably mostly when it comes to the keycaps. Because the keycaps are kind of like jokers. But there's going to be a lot more of them, so it'll be different in some ways. But yeah. We want to say run stats dot player current health equals run stats dot player max health. Actually, no, we don't want to do that. It's not even something we want to do. We want to do that in here. Let's make this private. I don't see any reason for it to be public for now. Player current health equals player max health. Okay. Back to player. If run stats dot player current health is less than or equal to 0, then we unalive. And that's it for here, but I know we have issues somewhere else. Yes, okay. Do we have access to run stats already? We do. How convenient. So here we're just going to say run stats dot player current health minus equals attack damage. Yeah. And that might be it. Okay. Health display we need to change as well. Makes sense. So we don't need player anymore, but we do need run stats. What's crack-a-lackin'? Just code ring. We're making it so that health is persistent between rounds. Currently. Let me just copy this. Change this to run stats. Change this to run stats. I feel like if anyone who actually has made any like significant project in Unity looks at this, they're gonna be like, "Yikes!" This is messed up. Or maybe they won't, I don't know. Like my professors, I learn Unity, like we've done Unity in the university courses I'm taking. And like I would not want my professor to see this, you know? Okay, the player doesn't exist. Why is that? These are not the problems I expect to have. Nothing about this is what I expect to happen. What's going on? The textbooks only exist to show you what the rules are so you know what to break. You're not supposed to actually follow them. That's actually so facts. Tries to have persistent health instead deletes player. Look, I'm very confused. What's happening? It must be this. It must be this. The player must be unaliving immediately. Yeah? And it's because run info, run stats defaults to player health being 0 in the inspector. Don't worry, guys. I know what I'm doing. Everything's under control. It's all in here. I know what's happening at all times. I've never been confused before. Oh yeah, this is what happens when two enemies crash into each other, by the way. I realized I want to take damage, but I don't actually want to completely die. Okay, health is still there. Health is still there. Love to see it. Yeah. There's okay. I think this is our next thing. I need to scroll back over. Boom. Yes, okay. Right now, I can take this keycap and I can press 1, and then it goes into this keycap slot that should have been locked. So that's the next thing I want to change. And that's going to be interesting, because the shop code is also kind of messy. But I actually think it's not as bad as the map. Okay. Okay. This is where we place a keycap. Handle selecting keycap. Handle deselecting keycap. Handle placing keycap. Comments are good for you guys. Okay. So I think here we just want to say if weapon dot unlocked characters dot contains keys pressed 0. Okay. Okay. Don't allow purchasing and placing if we haven't unlocked keycap slot. Yeah. So if it does not contain the key we pressed, then we return, and nothing will happen. think, maybe we just break here? I don't actually know. I think return is what we want to do. I think. Only one way to find out. We will be using a tried and true method called if it works, it works. Glass. I feel like the damage indicators are very nice. Nice. Okay. Can we put it in bad spot? We cannot. Nothing happens. I'm spamming the number keys. Doesn't work. If we press V, it does work. Okay, we're going to take this A and this O. We're going to take a moment here to just actually play to like the end of the map or whatever. Just as a brain break. And also because I want to see the numbers on the damage indicator get big. We got 9 there. That's pretty exciting. Let's just go with possible, because I want the shop. 16. We like it. We like it. 14. 19. Things are happening, guys. 4. We hate 4. Okay. So we'll take all of the left 3. Let's replace K. Do I know where K is? Okay. I'm using an alternate keyboard layout. And sometimes, because I just type with muscle memory, I forget where the keys actually are. And so on occasion, I will put something in the wrong spot. And then I feel very silly. What do I want to replace? Hi ma'am, can you share the tools that you use and the AI which you prefer using? I'm new here so I can understand and know those tools a bit and do research on them. First of all, I'm a guy. Second of all, a lot of people get confused though. I'm just using Unity and Trello. On occasion, I use ChatGPT, but I haven't used it much for like this project in particular. But I mean, yeah. Okay. We replace the second L. Now we see how the numbers are. Will we get bigger number? 26, 18. Okay, lane, type or die. Yeah, pretty much. That's pretty much what happens. Replace D and B. Okay. This is a far cry from what I want the game to look like eventually, because I want keycaps to be unique. And, you know, more interesting than just like, oh, this increases the damage. Sorry on that. Thanks. And which language you program on? I use C#. That's what Unity uses. There's also another option for, I'm assuming you like are looking into game development specifically. Godot is another good option if you would prefer something like open source. Unity just happens to be what I'm more comfortable with personally, but Um, it's another very good option. It's very Godot is particularly well. Actually, no, Godot's just good. It's open source, which is nice because Unity had that drama not too long ago. Maybe it was long ago. I don't remember. Where they tried to change their pricing model and everybody was angry. Um, but you know that will never happen with Godot because it's open source. But on the other hand, Unity typically has more resources, I think, because it's been around longer and more people use it overall. So, yeah. What do I want to replace here? F, I guess? Or G? I don't even know what I want anymore. I don't have any boosted E keycap. But I could just take a second standard E keycap. And then this is the final battle. Continent. This could be big damage. 84. Yeah, we had a lot of damage in like the 40s. And then we go here and nothing happens. And that's currently the unofficial end of the game, kind of. But what's gonna happen is there's gonna be a boss. As silly as some things you have to do in Godot, it is great for what it offers for basically free from download to game list. Yeah, I've also used Godot in the past, and it was great. Like I had nothing wrong with it, from my perspective at least. Like I didn't run into any like major issues or anything. But yeah, I've taken like some courses in school, and they all use Unity, so I'm more used to Unity at this point. But originally I used Godot before I switched to this. Okay. Okay. Fixed the fact that keycaps can be placed in places they should not be able to be placed. So the next thing I want to fix is enemies crashing into each other. And this is where it gets interesting, because I don't know how to fix that. But what I'm going to do, we're going to make this easier to test by, can we make this easier to test by spawning like 150 enemies? Then seeing what happens when we enter a battle. Okay, and yes, this very clearly highlights the issue that happens. Oh god, you can't see much in the scene window. But yeah, the enemies like crash into each other and they rotate and weird physics things happen, and it's weird and I don't like it. So I want to fix that, but small favor if you don't mind. Like, the work you're doing is interesting. Can you show a completed project of yours, even a small one? Not really. Not right now. Not on stream. I do have one project I made in Unity. It's a little bit different because it was a VR game. But I don't want to show it right now. I'd have to like change some things because it has like my name attached to it and things, and I don't want to like dox myself. But yeah, that was for like a school, not a class, but there's like a program at my school where you could do that. So is the enemy text supposed to rotate? No, that is the problem. just gonna like Google my issue vaguely. Setting its freeze rotation property to true. Oh. Is it really that easy? Can you just lock the access? Like that might might be the case. Where is it telling me to change it? Rigid body 2D. Freeze rotation. Does that do it? Is that it? It might be it. What do you need the rigid bodies for? You can disable rotation by enabling a constraint the rigid body by the way in inspector. What do I need a rigid body for? Oh my gosh. I think I pretty much just did it so that the enemies don't overlap with each other and they don't overlap with the player. That's pretty much... This game looks sick. Thank you. That's pretty much why I have them. I think... Yeah. If there's something I should change here, then let me know. Because my understanding of the Unity collision system is, like, spotty. Are you planning on releasing it anytime soon? Not soon, no. It's definitely to be announced. I've only been working on it for, like, 2 or 3 weeks, max, I think, so... It'll be a long time. I don't know... Yeah, I actually have no idea. When I would even have like an early access or anything. It depends. I'm gonna go back to school soon. I'm just on winter break right now, so I'll have like less time to work on it, but still some time. So we're gonna see like what kind of progress I can make during the semester. Okay. Enemies bump into each other. Okay, we're making good progress. Next, I want to rework keycaps, and this is a bit more involved. So the idea is keycaps can be lettered or unlettered. So some keycaps, you type, if you type that letter in a word, it does this effect. Other keycaps I want to be unlettered, so they might be like, every enemy you defeat gives additional money, or every adjacent keycap does +5 damage, or that kind of thing. And then I want there to be enchantments, quote unquote, which is just like, you get an improved stat in some way. So like maybe there's an enchantment that's just every time this, you like type the letter, you do more damage, or every time you type the letter, you get more money, or every time you type the letter, it like does multiplies the damage. So like, keycaps are enchantments are gonna be like what I have now almost, where it's like damage boost, damage multiplier, but the actual keycap abilities are gonna be like more involved. And they're gonna like, basically what keycaps you have, I want to actually affect your strategy, and then enchantments are just like, help you scale a little bit. And then, right now, when you actually do your attack, I literally have a list of if statements. And it's like, if the keycap type is this, do this. And it's just like a list. And that's gross. So, I want to make it so each keycap actually gets an object instantiated, and then it could have any like various triggers to actually do some ability. So like maybe a keycap does something when you purchase it, or it does something when you type its letter, or it does something at the start of each battle, or when you win each battle, or when you swap it for a different keycap, or when you defeat an enemy. You get the idea. But yeah, that's like the hope for making keycaps better. Thanks. Can you tell the parts you work, like from the basic to the end, first you launch the environment, and code then execute, so it feels like it feels on what you're working on? I don't know what you mean. I have a vague idea what you mean, but I don't. I think you're asking me something, and I don't quite understand what you're asking. Yeah. Are you asking for like a devlog? Yep. If that is the case, I think I'm gonna start making like edited YouTube videos during the semester, because during the semester I don't have time to stream. So instead I'll probably make like every week I'll record something and then post it. Or like maybe it'll be every other week if I didn't do much, but you know. That'll probably give a lot more context. Let's open our keycap script. So we have keycap type, key type, and then we have the characters, the positions. Okay, so let's look at our list. Allow keycaps to either be lettered or unlettered. Okay. So public pool is lettered. And for now, I'm literally just going to keep it like that. Yeah. That will be checked later. Too bad I have work in about 15 minutes. I was feeling pumped to code alongside the stream. Work is evil, man. It's evil. Yeah, I work on the weekends, which is why I didn't end up streaming. Just because my schedule at school was that I was at school during the week, and then I would work on the weekends, and I just never... I kept that schedule over break, so I've been able to stream. But yeah. What else do we have? Either be unique or not. Okay. So okay. I'm trying to think about like the way I want to implement these changes. Because I think I want to like create a prefab for every different kind of keycap that exists. And then it can be configured there. And then all of those will just like extend the basic keycap class. And I think that's how it'll work. But I'm not sure, like, so first of all, keycap, the class right now, is not a mono behavior. It's just a class, like a basic class. It doesn't extend anything. And I don't I would assume that means I can't instantiate it if I extend it. Because I don't think that would make any sense. So like, how do I make it exist and make it not exist, basically, if I'm not actually spawning a game object? Like, where are you coding and where are you executing it at? Is it everything is in Unity? So basically, you do everything except actually write the code in Unity. And you can use any code editor you want, so I'm using Visual Studio. But that's where you actually write the scripts, which you can attach to game objects. Kind of like that. If I find one that actually works, yeah. And then that's called a component, and you can remove it or add it to any game object you want, and that controls that game object through code. And then you execute everything in Unity. Unity runs, and it does all the work behind the scenes, basically. But yeah, I think. So I actually might turn keycap into a mono behavior. But the question is, what will that break? Because I think that means I can't have anything static. Or breaks nothing. Is that possible? Is that a possibility? Okay. Okay. What is this error? I clear it and it goes away. I thought you couldn't inherit static. That's quite possible. And it definitely breaks things because we can't attack anymore. But I think this might be a necessary change. And I think it might just be something where we have to do a lot of changes before we actually see the result. But I think it's definitely... Thank you, sir. No problem. Yeah, okay, we have these, we have these. Why did I not hide this at inspector? Real questions. Okay. And then... So we're gonna have all of these. And then... Public pool is lettered. Public pool is unique. Okay, constructor. When do I use this constructor? I don't think I ever actually use this constructor. The keycaps are never created with code. They're just defined in the inspector. Is the field you're studying right now relevant to this? Yes. I'm doing computer science. So, it is somewhat relevant at least. It's not like a game design degree. obviously, but you know. Unfortunately, all of our not doing hide and inspector, or what did I do? Oh, changing these so that they are what did I do? I don't know what I did. Everything in the inspector is broken, but I think that's fine. It was bound to happen at some point. Okay, toString, get position, get characters, get position characters, get display characters, randomized to viable. Okay. I think we keep this. It will probably need to be changed at some point. Is viable key. Probably need to be changed at some point. Sorry for disturbing all these questions. It's curious one. It's totally fine, dude. I'm glad to have interaction. And I would be curious too, for sure. So, okay. So what we're gonna have, we're not gonna make this static. We're about to break a lot of things. And it might take a while before we unbreak them. But it is what it is. So I'm gonna go ahead and create let's rename this class, actually. I think this is going to be keycap data. And then we are going to have a keycap game object. That actually like calls our abilities and stuff. We're gonna get rid of the constructor for now. Yeah, maybe we actually wouldn't need it as a mono behavior, because instead of extending, I can have this as like a sub, as like a member of the actual keycaps. We'll see. Alright, and let me actually rename this class in here. It didn't like me. Yes, yes, I know everything is broken. Will it not let me rename this right now? Please? Please? It won't let me rename it. This is so sad. Okay. In your curriculum of computer science, they won't be teaching you Unity, Work, or VS Code. I actually am taking some courses. They're not like mandatory for a computer science major, but I am taking courses that cover Unity and use Visual Studio. And next semester, I am literally taking a class called game programming. So it's not in the main curriculum, but I am doing it. But then yes, I'm also taking like lots of like typical computer science courses. This thing taking a lot of thinking. I also want to know. I cannot rename this. That's quite annoying. I might just have to go back in my other scripts and like change these things just to get it to be quiet for now. Viable keycap. Is that what I just changed? No. Okay. Let me check something. Okay. Change this. Keycap display. I'm just trying to make these errors go away so that I can actually rename the file, hopefully. Okay. Lots more changes to be made in this script. Luckily, we have AI to make this easier. Oops. Okay. And thus more errors have been awakened. Line 59. Okay, I've broken this by being static. I think what it might be time to just say goodbye to like this entire function. This is where we have to destroy in order to create. It's gonna take some untangling though. And you. Okay, the errors are gone. Not that anything works now. And the script has been renamed at some point while I wasn't looking. So essentially what I want is go to prefabs. Let's create a whole new folder for prefabs, keycaps, and we want, let's make standard keycap, right? And then, so standard keycap is going to have its own script. And keep this as a mono behavior actually. So we're gonna have public keycap data. And that will actually let us be, so once you instantiate this, the keycap data will be like, okay, it's this letter, it's in this position, that kind of stuff. But there's other things that we're gonna define, like what happens every time some like trigger happens or that kind of thing. So let's actually okay, I think we're gonna have a keycap script here actually. Rename that. Hopefully it actually renames. Yes, okay. And then let me... So yes, this has a keycap data attached to it, but it also has a bunch of triggers corresponding to what we had on the Trello board. So like start of battle, being purchased, that kind of thing. Let's see. Yes, okay. Let me actually grab this and just like move this a little bit, just for now. On purchased, on letter typed. Okay. This is actually where we're gonna have like the is unique. On battle start, on battle 1, on enemy defeated. Okay. all of these things. And basically, you're going to be able to define something that happens on any of these events for each different keycap type. And then this, like the correct events will be corresponded when each of those things will be called when each of those things happen for each keycap that the player has. So like, let me like try to explain this better. Just like my process makes sense. Let me pull this up. Okay, so we have keycap data. Can I? Okay. Keycap data class, right? Let's see. This is what stores information about an instance of a keycap. Make this a little similar. Letter, position, etc. So that's going to actually be, like, every time you create a keycap, it's going to have a keycap data as a member, and that will tell it, like, what letter it needs to display, what position in the keyboard it's in. Hold on, I dropped something. Okay. Now, the keycap class store information about a type of keycap. Example, golden keycap. Like, pretend that's a keycap we have, and every time you type that letter, you get $10 or something. The keycap class is what is actually going to store that information. That's like, let me write it this way. So this is like what should trigger the keycap, what will happen when the keycap is triggered. Then you're going to have specific keycap class extends keycap. So like you might have golden keycap here. So you might have like a golden keycap class. Has custom functions for each of its events that can be triggered. Is instanced when you have a keycap of its type. Does this make sense? The organization here? Hopefully it does. I think this is more future-proof, especially how like the events work and stuff. We don't have like a huge line of code that's like, yes, this. Okay. And then so keycap data is going to have a slightly different functionality. Let me make this full screen again. And then move this. So keycap data in this setup. Do we have that open at all? We do not, I don't think. Let me open that script. Keycap data will still store, well, it will not store the type of keycap that a keycap is. That data is going to be inherent to whichever keycap game object you instantiate. So that doesn't need to be kept track of. It's mainly just what kind of character it is. And then, well, it's what letter it has and what position it is on the keyboard. That's what keycap data keeps track of. And it also tells, based on that position, where it should physically be placed on the keyboard, which is what that huge array is. It doesn't need to store whether it's lettered or whether it's unique, because that will be taken care of by the keycap class. All of this is fine. Randomizing to viable is going to change. Mainly in that it will no longer change the keycap type. But I think that's it. It will still be helpful to have this function as a way to randomize only to letters that we've unlocked. Okay. And then here we no longer need to check this. Okay. We really shouldn't need is viable key anymore, because we have randomized to viable that checks for us. And then this will have to be defined elsewhere. This will have to go in keycap. Public int get price. Turn 0 for now. I will copy all of this. And then the type multipliers I will ignore for now. So for now, I'm just going to return base letter price. And this will have to be changed to keycap data.keycap letter. Yes, change those. Can we get AI to... Can we get AI to help me here, please? I understand one needs to know how to code, understanding of logics, how algorithms work, syntax, running, executing, but I don't know where do I start. I would just find a YouTube tutorial, honestly. That's just like, create like a simple platformer in Unity. That's probably going to be like the best way to start. That's pretty much what I did. I used Godot at first, but I just found a tutorial. and I followed it. And then once you follow enough tutorials, you can start to stop following the tutorials and do your own thing. But even once you're pretty experienced, like pretty much every step of the way, you're gonna have to Google, how do I do this? How do I do that? Like, that's just how it is. And so, yeah, I mean, it's just, you learn things piece by piece. I was wondering how you'd handle different keyboard layouts or even languages. Sorry if you already answered this before. That's actually one of the biggest questions that needs to be asked, I feel like. Because I want to make the game friendly to as many different, like, places as possible. But right now, like, I just, like, it's gonna be hard. And that's all I really know. um, in terms of like alternate keyboard layouts that still use all of like the standard English characters, those work fine. Like, my game is going to be broken right now because I'm changing things, so I can't show it. But if you go back in the stream, you can see like I use my own keyboard layout. I don't use QWERTY, and like the game can handle that fine. But once you're getting into the territory of like, what about, you know, different languages that have a different number of characters and all that, then there's gonna have to be like different localized versions of the keyboard or something. Like, it's gonna have to be somewhat manual. But at the same time, I don't think it's like impossible. The different number of characters per keyboard, and also like the different letter frequencies might change the balance in some ways. But I think the only solution for that is to kind of just like ignore it and just it's not like it's a it's not like it's a competitive game that, like, you know, you're playing directly against people or something. It's just like the game might be a little different for people who speak German, you know? And I think that's just always inevitable. But yeah, I mean, I might just have to design multiple different keyboard layouts and make them all work. And I mean, yeah, it sounds like it's really complicated for sure. You like the idea, though? Thank you. Yeah, it'll be a challenge, but I don't think it's impossible. There might be, I'm curious actually, like how, what does monkey type do when you like, because they have this keyboard display. Changing the language probably won't change anything if I do like Japanese hiragana, but can I... Okay, yeah. So it just has like this whole... The keyboard changes. What else is there? Like... Swiss German is a layout? Yeah, I mean, it just changes it, and I might just have to change it. I might have to, like, I like what monkey type does, because it doesn't include the numbers. And so, like, most languages will have roughly a similar number of keys, I would hope. I mean, like, Japanese had a lot, but that might just be how it is. You might just have to accept that. Layout emulator, that's what I need. Yeah, you might just have to accept it. And be like, Japanese players get to place more keycaps. Could probably, like, balance the game somehow to account for it, but it's just, like, so much effort that... I wonder if there's a standard they're pulling the layouts from, or maybe it's just something they came up with. Yeah, I don't know. I think they just took, like, the standard layout for Japanese, for example, and then they don't display, like, the numbers, and they don't display certain symbols. I don't know. But yeah, I mean, the overall point is it would be very specific to each different layout you're making, and I think you just have to, like, accept that it's going to be a decent amount of work. But yeah, I don't know. I think if you're willing to accept that it changes the balance and just makes something playable, then I don't think it's really a lot of work. I mean, like, it might be a lot of work for me as an individual, but, like, you know, I could build a different keyboard that fits the Japanese keyboard in, you know, like a few days. One step at a time. Sorry for distracting you so much. Now, being distracted is nice, because then I can stop thinking about the difficult problems I have to solve. And think about difficult problems that I'm not solving yet. It's always nice. And ultimately, when I stream, I plan on getting distracted. It's only when I'm not streaming that I'm really fully focused. Okay. So get price can be removed from here. Pretty sure we don't need is viable key either. So we will need let's just do this. Let's start making a new standard keycap that fits our new design philosophy. So I made this prefab. It has the keycap script on it. And so we want to say, node is not unique. Did I add, I added these. Did I save this? Do I need to re-add the keycap component? Well, actually, what we're going to do is we're going to make a standard keycap script. Standard keycap. And then put it over here so the stream can see it. This is going to extend keycap. And for now, we're not going to do anything in here. The name keycap type does not exist in the type keycap data. Let's see, keycap sprite mapping. I don't even want this anymore, I think. Yeah, keycap sprite mapping doesn't have to exist anymore, because what will happen is that in keycap, we are going to have public sprite. Display sprite. And so what's going to happen is that this object, like standard keycap, which extends keycap, which is this, is never actually going to be visible. Like, it's going to be invisible. It'll just be like a child of the keycap weapon. But that sprite will be used by the keycap display class, which is what you get when you actually have like the shop and you see the keyboard. So that'll kind of be the plan for that. Okay. Let's go back. We have our standard keycap, and then it is going to get the standard keycap script. Scripts, keycaps, standard keycap. Throw it on there as a component. The script class cannot be found. Why not? It doesn't like it. Sure, there are no compiler. Standard keycap. Standard keycap. Is it because it extends keycap instead of mono behavior? But keycap extends mono behavior. Right? Lots of questions. Alright, let's just Google this error and see what it says. Can't add script component because script class cannot be found. Script name does not match the class name. Standard keycap. That's the S. Standard keycap. Okay. That's definitely not the issue. There's an error in the script. It's definitely not an error in standard keycap. There isn't in keycap either. 3 bad import. Restart the editor. Possibly. Unity, can you extend class in a component? What's that? Unity, can you extend a class that extends mono behavior? Can you inherit from a class that inherits from mono behavior? I'm not sure extends is actually the word. You can inherit. Yeah, okay. So this does it. They're like, that's fine. I mean, I guess. I guess I'll restart Unity and see what happens. That's my only idea right now. I'm a little bit confused. We're gonna see what happens. Alright, want to see a cool trick? This is my Apple Pencil. We do a little spin. This is my cool trick of the day. You go like boom, and then you go like boom, and then you go like boom. But I've been doing it for like years now, so it's smooth. I wish I could do that. It is okay, hold on. The project you're opening contains compilation errors. That's cool. Well, actually, I knew it contained compilation errors. That's not that concerning, is it? Just delete this for now. Was that the problem? Do I need to save that, maybe? Oh boy. Keycap data. Keycap type does not exist in the current. Oh. Okay, that's not very important. This is just the toString. Gosh. Alright. We don't need this function at all. Oh, I'm still in full face here? True. Thanks for pointing that out. As you can see, we have lots of errors, which is to be expected. Gosh. Okay. I think I just have to, like, everything will be broken. That's all that can really be said. everything will be broken. Very many things will have to be like completely rewritten here. But for now, I'm just going to clear everything that gives an error. Yeah. Shouldn't need any of this once it's once we have our new version of the keycaps. Oh. Looks like we've exited safe mode. Okay. In that case, back to our standard keycap. Can we now add this script? There we go. I guess it was just like a compilation thing where Unity hit an error, and so it never got to compiling this new script I made, and so we couldn't add it. I guess that's... Okay. Standard keycap will be lettered but not unique. The price multiplier will be 0.6. The display sprite is going to be this one. And then we can add a function here. So this is where we're going to have fun. So standard keycap is going to have public void deal damage. How this works? So it will need how do you decide price / point balance in the game? I've always wondered that for incremental / idle games too. Right now there is no balance. Because I don't know anything about the specific numbers. So I'm not the person to ask, yet at least. But I mean, I imagine like intuition mixed with lots of playtesting. But I've also wondered that for incremental games because they're all about like the numbers. And so I imagine for an incremental game you would actually do a lot of math and like calculating how long you expect things to take and whatnot. But yeah. Okay. So question is, okay, so what's going to happen basically is you're going to have all of your keycaps defined, and you'll have objects for each of them. And then in the keyboard weapon or in player, probably in player's attack, it's going to say for every keycap, call its enemy attacked event. And then it's going to look in here and it's going to be like, or maybe it'll be on letter typed. Yeah, I'll probably do its on letter typed. It'll be like, if that letter was typed in this attack, call its on letter typed event. And then I can pass a function in here. I can literally drag this in and then be like, our onLetterTyped is gonna call whatever. And I don't have it. I didn't save, so it's not showing up. But I'll show you. It's gonna call deal damage. It's right there. And then we can write a function that does damage. But problem, deal 1 damage to attacked enemy. We're gonna need a way to figure out what enemy are we attacking, and yeah, I mean, I think what enemy are we attacking, and what is the current damage? Because some keycaps will like multiply damage. So I think we will have to just like track that globally somehow. Like we could store like the most recently attacked enemy globally, if that makes sense. I'm actually not sure if we can do like, well, let's check if this is possible. So like enemy, we pass in an enemy. The thing is, we're gonna need to like, let's go to this. Public void test. We're going to call onLetterTyped.invoke. And you can't pass any arguments to invoke. That's just not how it works. So we'll have to figure it out, basically. Let's see if there's like a workaround. You can use a coroutine. So what we could do is we don't have these be Unity events. We have them be voids. So then, like, public void on purchased. Okay. And maybe these do nothing here. But we go to standard keycap and we say at override, or just override? I haven't done overriding much before. So like on letter type. At override is probably JavaScript. Use the new keyword if hiding was intended. Okay. Looks like we can just do that. And then, so this is where we can write our code, and this way we can we can pass in the enemy that we're attacking. Okay, so this is like another possibility, but there might be a lot of things we have to change. Because like, for example, we have the way the damage calculation works is that, like, if you have hello, and then, like, let's say the E keycap is damage multiplier, then what you do is, like, 1 damage from the H, the E multiplies that by 2, so now you have 2 damage, and then you do 3, 4, 5, which isn't a great example, but let's say it was like this instead, where the, well, actually we could use L. I'll post the ideas I have. I wish I have the knowledge and skill like yours and contribute in your project. Just start working on it. You'll get there. I wouldn't consider myself like a professional or anything. Like, I'm just a person. You know? Yeah, if we imagine L is times 2 damage, then it would be like 1, 2, 4, 8, 9, and that would be like the damage calculation. So it actually depends, like the letter L depends on what the letters previous in the word have been. And so like we would like have to pass that along, but what if we don't always want to pass that along? That might be where it's better to store things globally. I'm just having to think about what we would store globally. Like, how would it look? We would essentially have like let's see, where would we put it? We could put it in keyboard weapon. Yeah, it might make most sense to put that in keyboard weapon. So, like, we would have Let's see. Actually, instead of that, actually, yes, do that, but I think we make keyboard weapons static. Cannot declare instance members in a static class. I mean, yeah, I think it makes sense for keyboard weapon to be static anyway. We only have one, and it just, like, controls the whole everything. So then we could say public static float current attack damage. And we use this when we're determining how much damage our attack does. And then so in standard keycap, we say keyboard weapon dot current attack damage plus equals 1. And then we don't need any information passed in. I want to stay till the end of the stream and understand more what you're doing. Wish help you in some way, but that isn't possible for me, and now it's late for me. I need to go. Alright, man. I'll see you. Thank you for being here. I appreciate the questions you asked. And hopefully I'll stream again tomorrow, so I'll still be around. May I ask if you also do coding as a job? I do not. I'm still a student. But eventually I'd like to do coding as a job. But at the same time, I'm like, I could either, like, try to do, like, a typical, computer science job, TM, like become a software developer or software engineer, but also, like, applying to internships is awful, and I hate everything about the, like, all of the process of getting a job, so I'm like, can I do YouTube as my job? And I'm like, maybe. But probably I should not try to do that. But it's on my mind. Oh wow, then you're already ahead by a lot. Thank you. I hope so. I don't have a lot of, like, I don't have a lot of personal projects behind me that actually, like, I'm very good at starting things. I'm not very good at finishing them. And so, like, I've been starting silly little coding projects since I was like 10 years old, but I don't have like a lot to actually prove to an employer that I like know what I'm talking about. And I haven't done much like leak code and stuff. So when it comes to like doing well in an interview, I don't know. I haven't been able to get an interview because there's so many people applying to these jobs. But yeah, I hate interviews so much they don't really accurately represent what you're gonna. Yeah, it's just I did most of the idea starting, you do most of the finishing and testing. It's a pretty good idea, honestly. To just make things with friends. I think me and my friend, I have one friend in particular who I feel like we really need to do that. Not that he's any better than me at finishing projects, but still. Hello, Shine. Okay. So, especially your YouTube channel can be a way to reach out to people across the world, or you can find someone online. True. Yeah. Okay, let's look at the player's attack. So at the start of our attack, we can say keyboard weapon dot current attack damage equals 0. And then we'll get the enemy, we'll get the selection word, and then for each for each character in selection word, we want to go through each keycap in and keyboard weapon should actually have a keycap array, not a keycap data array. And then we will say, let's see. Where was I? Player. Okay, we don't need access. We don't need to do this anymore because we can access keyboard weapon directly because it's static now. Keycap, in keyboard weapon dot keycaps. If keycap dot keycap data dot keycap letter. It's a lot of accessing things, but it's fine. Equals C. I'm going to name that more clearly. Let's see what's wrong here. Oh. We actually want keycap.keycapdata.get characters. And then we want to check if that contains the typed character. Because each keycap can represent multiple characters, typically the lowercase version of the letter and the uppercase version of the letter. And so that's why this returns a string. It's characters instead of character. So now we say if the character matches, take this keycap and call on letter typed. Okay. Handle any keycap events. Let's do on letter typed keycap events. Okay. And then we're going to say it doesn't matter if certain letters are capitalized or lowercase in that case. Yeah, we don't care right now, at least. I could, I don't think I'm ever gonna make it so that, like, you have a lowercase set of keycaps and an uppercase set of keycaps. That seems kind of ridiculous. But there could be something where, like, if a letter is capitalized, then you do extra damage or something. But these are all possibilities. There's so many possibilities. Okay. And it's actually just going to take keyboard weapon dot current attack damage, and that's how much damage the enemy will take. And then we deselect the enemy. Deselect the enemy. So the word has to be retyped to attack them again. Just trying to also clean up this code a little bit. Deselect all enemies. Or what do we do? We need to, like, yeah, I guess we're emptying the selection words. Or I'll say reset. I don't know. Okay. We might be starting to get somewhere. So we need our basic keyboard again. And before, the keyboard was defined in the inspector. But I'm not sure if we can do that anymore. Or if we'll need to do it through code. Okay. Okay. Let's look at keyboard weapon. Like, we can take this. Let's just clear all of its entries. They're no longer useful to us, which is unfortunate because it took a long time to... I had to put in, like, each keycap data into here, and then I had to, like, manually change each one's values. It was a time, but maybe that's actually how I could still do it. So, like, in keyboard weapon, I can have public static keycap data array initial keycap data. And so make sure we serialize field there so it definitely shows up in the inspector. Okay. And so okay. But here's a problem now. The only thing... I think the reason we were able to... I'm not sure we can make this serializable. Using system? Oh, maybe we can. My memory says, though, that you can't make a mono behavior serializable. Oh, but we're trying to do keycap data, not keycap. Anyway. And keycap data doesn't have to be a mono behavior, does it? Okay, use this try get component. Well, let's see if... Well, no, it's already trying to be serializable and it's not working. Okay, we can't use try get component. But we have it statically, so we don't need try get component to get the keyboard weapon. So this shouldn't be a problem. Let's rewrite this a little bit. So we don't need any of this. We don't need this. Here we just say keyboard weapon. Here we just say keyboard weapon. And like, bam. The code actually got simpler, as any good refactoring should do. Question is, now can we? It still isn't letting us do this. But like, why? Okay, let's see. Keycap data is serializable. Keycap. It's just the keycap data array. So wait, let's look at it. Keyboard weapon. Serialized field, public static keycap data array. Initial keycap data. Oh, because it's static? It's gotta be because it's static that we can't. Maybe? Static values cannot be serialized. Okay. I mean, in that case, we could just code it. Like, realistically, this isn't something that's gonna change. Like, it's not something I need to be able to modify. I don't think. It's just like at the start of the game, we're gonna need to set up the basic keyboard setup. Yeah, okay. Set up default keycaps. And this will need to be static. Everything needs to be static. Shouldn't be a problem. I feel like I'm gonna run into something where I'm like, oh man, I really need this to not be static. But I don't think so. Realistically, I don't think that'll happen. At this point, also, we should make we have standard keycap. We just duplicate that. Let's make undiscovered keycap. If you're here earlier in the stream, undiscovered keycap is the keycap type you have when you haven't typed that letter before yet. It's like locked, and you can't put a keycap. Like you can't replace them until you've typed its corresponding letter. which is like hidden. It's hard to explain without being able to use the visual, but yeah. So I'll also create a script for undiscovered keycap, although I'm not sure what I'm going to do with it yet. I need to wait for it to compile. Yeah, okay. Well, it won't add it. Cannot declare a variable static type keyboard weapon. Yes, yes, okay. Go away. Go away. Oh gosh. I'm having to rewrite these things just to get rid of errors, but I know it's all probably going to change later. Like, it doesn't feel like this matters that much. See, like, I have all these errors. And I'm like, I need them so I can place the new script I'm making. I mean, I could just erase, like, almost everything. It's definitely an option. But it's useful to have the old code there. And as close to its original state as it was. This is what real game development is. Breaking everything that you made work. just hitting the undo button. Okay, now will you please let me put the script on the thing? Please, pretty please. Yay! And all we need to do is make this extend keycap. This doesn't really need to do anything right now. And then we'll say it's not lettered, it's not unique, price multiplier should be 0. That makes sense. And then the display sprite is this one. Okay. Alright. I think just for a moment I am going to sit down for a couple minutes because I am standing. I have a standing desk. I'll go to the bathroom and I'll be back in a little bit. But yeah. We got the BRB screen going. And I'll probably run a couple ads, honestly. So why not? We are so back, chat. We are so back. Oh wait, you were standing this whole time? Strong guy. Well, I have to stand for like 5 hours whenever I work, so. Because I just work retail. But it is kind of rough because I don't move too much. Like, I'm mostly just standing here. But I mean, I get tired in like half an hour. That's fair. I've also had the standing desk for a while. I don't use it to stand enough, but I have been when I'm streaming, and it's a good. I think it's a good time to use it because I can like project my voice a little bit better because I'm standing, and there's a little more energy. You know, I can move. I don't know. That was just my idea when I decided I was going to stand while I stream. I don't know what these errors mean. Gotta get one of them standing desks. It is nice. Yeah. I would only do it if, like, you already need, if you already need a new desk, and then you might want to look at getting a standing desk. But if you're, like, happy with your current desk, chances are you're going to be sitting most of the time. It's an adjustable desk I'm talking about, not, like, permanently standing. So if you get an adjustable one, you're going to sit at it most of the time anyway, realistically. So just like keep that in mind. And also like get one off of Amazon. Don't go to IKEA or Micro Center. I went to Micro Center not too long ago, and someone asked one of the employees if they had standing desks, and he was like, standing desks? Honestly, I'm inclined to just tell you to get one off of Amazon, because the ones we have here kind of suck. So, that was kind of funny to hear. I was considering IKEA. Yeah, get one off Amazon. I got mine off of Amazon. It's nice. It was not too expensive. It was. I'll type the brand in chat because there's a logo I can see. I don't think. Well, I don't remember exactly how expensive it was, but I think compared to what I was expecting to pay, it was not ridiculous. They're definitely overpriced at like IKEA. Anyway, I also, while I was in the bathroom, saw that I got an email that, I've been accepted to be like a teaching assistant for a class next semester at school, which is very nice because they give you money. So that's very exciting, and that's on my mind. I thought that would be fun to share. Congrats, how old are you? I am 20. I'm technically, I think by credits I'm a junior in college. But I have a weird situation, kind of, because I transferred from community college, and then there's like AP credit, community college, transferred community college to university, and then I transferred. I think most students start going to a school in the. I think they typically start in the fall semester, but I started in the spring semester because I was transferring, and I got my associate's degree in only 3 semesters. I've heard community college sucks, but I don't know really. It just so happens that my community college that is closest to me is a very good community college. I absolutely do not regret it at all. I am so glad I went there. I love my university too, but like, is actually a really good community college. So I thought it was a great experience. Um, I do wish I had like made more friends and stuff, but I guess I would have probably not continued talking to most of those friends when I started going to university anyway. So I'm just 17, so I'll be writing apps soon. Nice. Yeah. Yeah, that might honestly that might be the most like the worst part of community college is like the social aspect of it because you don't meet people in your freshman year. But to be fair, like the university does have like events and stuff for like new transfer students to meet each other, and I just like didn't bother going because talking to people is scary. So yeah, but either way, back to something. I agree. Yeah. Back to coding. None of this talk about social life. But actually, what am I doing now? I have the standard keycap. It exists. I like to listen to you in the background while studying. Nice. I'm glad. Yeah, it definitely can be helpful to listen to a stream. I used to watch a lot of streams, so now I just usually watch videos, but I agree that it helps me focus. Our keyboard weapon needs to actually create the keycaps. And so where's our keyboard weapon? Is the script open? Come over here. For each. I think for each keycap data dot key type key letter in keycaps, we're going to instantiate not in keycaps, in keycap data dot key type. Can we do this? We want enum dot get values. Something like that. Typo. I've done this before, but okay. No, it's still not it. Oh wait, maybe we just need system. Okay. So we're just gonna say for every type of letter, make a keycap of the undiscovered type. And I think we can use get display character, and we can make sure that get display character is not blank, and that's how we'll determine if it's like a quote-unquote normal keycap, I guess. Do I have backslash? Okay. I'm actually going to make backslash have no display character for that reason, because I'm not actually using it in my game, mainly for the reason that it's a different size than the other keys. and that would make my life harder. If... Can I make... Can I make these static? Looks like I can. Those will be helpful. Let's see. If keycap data dot key characters, and then we take letter, and we convert it to an int. The name letter does not exist in the current. What? Huh? What? What? Huh? 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 So many questions. Okay, wait. Unity get all possible values of an enum. Let me make sure this is... Yeah, enum, am I doing that? Enum.getValues type of keycap data.keytype? Okay, that's what I'm doing. What's happening? Okay. If I do it like this. Okay, I think I can do that. What? Huh? Her? Unnecessary assignment of a value? Name key type does not exist in the current... That's right. What? You have the semicolon closing it. Oh, that'll do something, won't it? I appreciate that. Sometimes the issues are the simplest things. I'm doing something that I'm so not used to doing that I like didn't even notice that. Okay, and then let's see if it is. I got so lost in that I've like completely forgot what the goal of what I'm doing right now even is. Okay. Oh yeah. Do you plan on allowing multiple keyboard profiles where users can set their own color schemes and maybe even the sound profile of various popular keyboards? Maybe. I wasn't planning on it, but I'll add it to the list, or like I'll make note of it for potential future. If I can find my. Yeah, definitely like a polish thing, or like a but yeah, like not a bad idea, letting people customize the sounds and stuff. Okay. Okay. Okay, so basically we're saying if there's no valid display character for that letter, aka it's like shift or enter or something, then we just don't want to create a keycap. But otherwise, we are going to instantiate a, and I'm hoping, can we call instantiate? It sure doesn't seem like it wants me to. Undiscovered keycap prefab. Yeah, we can't. Well, let's make it static. I don't think this is gonna work. But we could call. Okay, wait. I don't remember why did why did I make it so that keyboard weapon isn't a mono behavior? Because it's static. And I definitely want it to be static. So I will just have to use some other class to instantiate them, I think, and then yeah. So like can I just make it in here? I don't know if it makes any sense to make it in here. But okay, if I make a function in here, then can I say can I do change object run info equals game object dot find game objects with tag. Okay, wait. Okay. I might just have to. Okay, and then we would say run info, run info. We can call that. Okay. Something else came to my mind though, and it concerned me. But now I've forgotten what it was. I guess like the question is if we should have a keyboard weapon game object, and then it's just like separately we have the static class keyboard weapon, and it's I don't know. Let's see. I mean, we do have that. Because we still have a keyboard weapon game object. Yeah. Maybe I'm just confusing myself. Yeah, okay, because like this, we can't put a... Where did I put... You can't attach a static, right? Yeah, that's not how... That's not how static works, that's what I thought. Okay. That makes perfect sense. So... I'm gonna do this here because I'm lazy, but I'm gonna add it to the Trello right now. I'll add it as a bug. Create game object specifically meant for instantiating the initial keycaps. Because right now doing it in run info does not actually make sense. But I'm tired, and I'm getting to that point where I just want to do it. Only time I mess with static is with delegates / action delegates. Just create classes like it's C, TBH. Valid. There was a reason I went for static. I think part of it was just that it feels cleaner. But I think it makes sense right now, and we'll see if I run into issues with it later. But transform. Okay. So once this starts, we're going to call keyboard weapon dot This doesn't make any sense. We might as well just have this be direct, right? Okay. Now the keyword weapon might not be created at this point. So really, I should just do the thing I'm gonna have to do eventually anyway. And give this a script. Instantiate default keycaps. I'll actually just attach it to this keyboard weapon. If it lets me, if Unity Engine is okay with that. Me and Unity Engine have a little bit of beef sometimes. Okay. Why did I do this? Why did I do anything? What's happening? Okay, here. Transform this. Okay. So we are instantiating them, and then object or obj is that, and then keycap. New keycap equals obj.get component. Keycap. If you call, let's just Google it. In Unity will get components that extend given class. Okay, wait. I think the thing is, I didn't really get the answer from that, but I realized before I started reading the answers that I could just like not do it like that, because we know it's gonna have an undiscovered keycap, because you know that's the prefab we're gonna pass in. So no problemo, really. Cool. But now what we need to do is we need to say new keycap dot keycap data dot keycap letter equals key type, and new keycap dot keycap data dot keycap position equals key type. And now we need to say keyboard weapon dot keycaps, and then this is currently just a regular array, but we actually are going to make it a list, so that I can just do dot add. Okay. Is there anything else I need to change for the keycap data? It's just its position and its letter. It's pretty much the only important things, or the only things. Okay. Save this. Okay, run info does not contain a definition for instantiate keycaps. Probably just need to remove that. This whole thing, it goes bye-bye. We do lots of making code go bye-bye. Keyboard weapon is missing the class attribute extension of native class. Let's Google what that means. Some of the game objects had the old script. Okay. Keyboard weapon. Find references in scene. There are none. Maybe it's just a thing that'll go away when I restart Unity. Okay. I think now is the point where I just want to find out what happens when I hit play. What's broken now? The class name keyboard weapon is abstract. The script class can't be abstract. Object reference not set to instantiate default keycaps line 25. Oh, I see. I haven't actually done that. I didn't make the list, so I can't add to the list. Okay. We cannot go to the next scene. Not an issue I expected. I think it might actually be that... Let's see, map tile? Oh, open it over here. Yeah, that's just where we're loading the scene, so I'm guessing there's something that causes the scene not to load, and that is the problem. And that isn't surprising, frankly. Let's actually check one more time. What happens though? Like, do we create all the keycaps at least, or no? Why? We create 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 of the keycaps. But that's it. Maybe I have it backwards. Maybe I'm only creating the keycaps I don't want to create. No? I'm saying if it's empty, it might be that I need dot equals here instead. Rookie mistake, perhaps? Don't know if that's the issue, but should be changed either way, I would think. Okay, no. We're still getting 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Exactly. Let's just debug log. This. Is that the map I just saw? Yes. Give me a second. It very much needs to be reworked, but I will show what it is currently. I just did like a very simple kind of algorithm for generating the current map. Yeah. Let me go to the scene view. Yeah, it basically picks, like, it has a set number of steps, and then for each step, it picks 1, 2, or 3 locations. And then it chooses what type of location it is randomly, except the second step is always a battle. And then it basically says, it goes through each one and says, connect this tile to one of the previous tiles. And then it goes through all the previous tiles, and it's like, if this doesn't connect to any tiles, connect it to a random one of the next tiles. And that way everything is connected. But I do wanna come up with like a nice, beautiful algorithm for like generating a map. But for now it's this. Okay. It seems like it only does it for like... Oh, I'm using return inside of the for each loop. I need to be using continue. This is my spine in the morning, skull icons and all. That's not good. That's not good. Okay. That looks more sensible. Okay. So when we select them, we can see up here in the top right, let me move the silly counter. Up here in the top right, we can see I have 6 selected, and I should have 46 of these. Let's go! Okay. Cool. And so this should be grave. This should be 1. This should be 2. And then like all the way down here should be like slash, I think. Yes. Yes, 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 yes. Yes, yes, yes. Easy. Easy money. Okay, is this still broken? Oh, we fixed it. Okay. Weird things happen. We always do 0 damage. I forgot I have it set to spawn 200 enemies. But everything is great. Everything is great, guys. We're so happy. Okay. scenes, battle, enemy spawner. Let's change this from 150 to 4. Slight balance adjustment, you know? Alright. I have a text, let me check. Alright. Oh my god, it's him, the goat? What is up? What is up? I haven't talked to him in like forever. We're making a typing game. That's a roguelike. It's kind of broken right now, but like if you scroll to like the start of the stream, at the start of the stream every time, I like show what I did off stream. But now we have less than that. We've actually gone backwards, sort of. That's a fun idea. How does it work? Basically, you have keyboard, and then you upgrade the keycaps, and then the keycaps have special abilities. And then, yeah. There's so much more I could say, but I'm blanking a little bit. Basically, when you type a word, you'll trigger the keycaps of the letters you typed, and then they will have some abilities or do some certain amount of damage or whatnot. And there will be various ways to upgrade and replace these keycaps. But right now, we are currently reworking how keycaps work and how the keyboard works. And so everything is like a little bit broken. But that's fine. So I guess the next thing I'll do is that when we entered the battle, we couldn't do any damage, so maybe I'll figure out why that's the case, and then we'll start working on that. Left. 0 damage. Attacked for 0 damage. Alright. So we're in player. We want to go to player. Let's move this. I have so many tabs open. Let me just close these guys. I know a lot of people who like to have 30 million tabs open on Google and stuff. I can't stand having more than like 10. Meanwhile, like my friends will like have to try multiple times to click on the correct tab because they have 5 different tabs of the same website open, and they have like 100 tabs total. Is this Java? No, this is C#. It's kind of like Java. It's not like super far off. Having specific words as enemies doesn't sound very emergent. I don't know what you mean by emergent, but each enemy gets a random word whenever it's spawned. Like, you know. Okay. So in our player we have attack. It's clearly doing like this. Oh, it's because all of my keycaps are undiscovered, and undiscovered keycaps don't have any effect when this is called. Instead what I want is that undiscovered keycap should do exactly what a standard keycap does, which is that if I open that script, it just adds 1 to the damage total. And then to make it unlock the typed character. I'm putting that as a question mark because that code is handled somewhere else, or it was handled somewhere else before, and I'm not sure if I should actually move it or not. But it feels like it might make intuitive sense to move it. But also, it might be difficult to implement it there. Cold. Okay, we still do no damage. Unfortunate. Let's check. We have our keycaps, right? Yes, okay, they exist. And we saved the script. Let's put a debug log here. Undiscovered keycap activated. And let's see if this is actually getting called or not. Because that will answer some questions for sure. Alright. We try again. There's lots of empty calls in the debug log. I don't actually know what they're from. Okay, we're not seeing that log though, so it seems like, is Balatro an influence for this at all? Very much. It's very much an influence. For sure. I mean, like the keycaps that you will get and buy are basically jokers in Balatro. It's like a similar idea. And then the actual damage calculation is also similar to Balatro. Because there won't be like chips in Molt, but there will be like Molt. Well, there'll just be base damage and then a multiplier, I guess. So it is chips and Molt, essentially. But there won't be any Molt, I guess. But I mean, yeah, I'm like addicted to Balatro, so it's very much influencing this. But I've always liked roguelikes in general more than other types of games, and I have always been into typing. I make videos about typing. If you're new here, so I'm like combining these two interests of mine. How do you score points? Is it like you have to finish typing or sentences to progress in the game? Yeah, it's pretty much just each enemy gets a word, and then based on your keyboard, you'll have like different keycap types. And so, say this is like a W key, and it's just standard. Each W key you type will be 1 damage. And then you might have another keycap that's like damage boost. And when you type the letter H, it gives +5 damage instead. And so then it goes through and it kind of calculates letter by letter, just like how a played hand in Balatro goes card by card. And then it calculates how much damage that attack does, and it attacks the enemy. And then once you defeat all the enemies, you'll go back to the map to move to the next battle, or to the shop to buy new keycaps. Unfortunately, for anyone who hasn't been here for most of the stream, I'm completely reworking how keycaps work, and so everything's kind of broken right now, so we're just fixing it. But everything will be better. It'll be more future-proof. But yeah, right now we're trying to figure out why this isn't getting called, I guess. which we're in player. We have keycapped on there. So are you assembling your own keyboard? Yeah, essentially that's what you do. Like, you start with a basic keyboard with all standard keycaps, and then you'll go to the shop, buy a new keycap that has some ability, replace one of them, and that's the idea. But it will also have effects on the letters. So, like, if you have your standard keyboard and then you replace the E keycap with a B keycap, then every E is now a B. And you've affected all of the words. And that functionality isn't something I've implemented yet, but it's a plan. And I think it'll make it more interesting. Because then if you put a new keycap in the spot it doesn't belong, so to speak, you're making your life more difficult, basically. But on the other hand, you could have like 5 keycaps for E, which is the most common letter, and then, like, you know, strategy, science, math. Let's see if the keycaps are even actually, like... I'm not a big typer myself, but it sounds really cool. Reminds me of Blantra. Nice. Yeah, I think... I don't want this game to, like, be like you have to type super fast. Like, I want it to be mostly strategy. And instead I want to reward typing accurately. But... that way it's more friendly to people who are, like, not typing nerds like I am. Okay, the keycaps are in the array. So let's actually check. If maybe the override just isn't working. Because we have a keycap class with the onLetter typed function, and it does nothing, and then we're overriding it in undiscovered keycap. And I'm wondering if the override just is not working how I expected it to. So let me see. Sorry, I'm like zoning out, actually. I need this. Yeah, let's just do that and see if that gets called. If that gets called, then I see what the problem is. Don't know how to fix it yet, but I see the problem. Also, good night. I'll go to sleep now. It's like 3:30. Oh yeah, you should definitely go to sleep. It was a nice session though, all of us. Thank you. I am definitely ending the stream kinda soon. Okay, wait. I saw it. Did you guys see it? I saw it. Keycap on letter type. Okay, so it's just not calling the override. Yeah, it's about time for dinner. My AirPods are low battery, and I'm tired. So, soon the stream will end. Is there a way? Is it because it's like it's holding a keycap type? Get. Can I get like the subclass that it is, if that makes sense? Oh, is it? Okay. All letter type needs to be. What? Cannot. Does it have to be abstract? Is that just how it is? I could switch to using events. Unity events. If I can't just make this abstract. Okay, I'm guessing that this still gives me this error. I don't... Can I make it abstract? Oh, I can. In that case, I will make all of these abstract. And then... Let's just test if it works now. And then... regardless of whether it works or not, it will probably be time to end the stream. Oh, it needs to? Okay. For now, just because we're testing this. Let's see it. Let me see damage. I just want to do damage. Mark it. Alright. Chat, please pray for me. Let's go. Do we see that, chat? Do we see the way we're not doing 0 damage? Isn't that lovely? Oh wait, there's another one. We're chilling. Okay. Keycap refactor is kind of done. Kind of. There's still more to do, but it's a very good stopping point. So I think that'll be it. It's been fun. It's been real. But yeah. Goodbye. And Brog.